In this video, I'm going to show you how to use our lead finder feature to find leads for your cold email campaigns. The first thing that you want to do is go to the lead finder page in your dashboard, and you'll notice that we have these 4 boxes at the top. These are essentially the instructions of how to start. The first thing that you want to do is install our Chrome extension. By clicking this box, it's going to open up the Chrome extension page, and you can then just click install. I've already installed it into my browser, so I won't do that now. A little tip I'll give you is to pin that extension to the top of your browser here so that you can always access it quickly. If you don't pin it, then it'll be hidden away. It's going to be very difficult to find, so make sure you pin that to the top of the browser. Then once you have that extension installed, all you have to do is click this and then click Open Sales Navigator Lead Search, and that's then going to open up LinkedIn Sales Navigator where you can start looking for leads. And just so you're aware, if you've never used LinkedIn Sales Navigator before, this is the paid version of LinkedIn where you can find leads to reach out to. And in case you're wondering, you do need to have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account to use this extension, but you should want to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator because it's the best source of leads that you can get. They're the most accurate. LinkedIn is the only platform that owns the data, so if you're trying to build accurate lead lists, which will have a really high reply rate and a low bounce rate, then the best way to do that is by scraping those leads directly from the source, which is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So I recommend that you use Sales Navigator to build your lead lists for your cold email campaigns, and don't use things like Apollo or ZoomInfo because they're just less accurate and you're going to get better results with Sales Navigator. So once you're inside Sales Navigator, you have all these different filters that you can apply. For example, maybe I'm going to put in something like founder in the current job title, and maybe I'm going to add something like CEO. And typically when you're doing cold email, in most situations it's best to reach out to the actual decision maker. So the founder, the CEO, if you're reaching out to some sort of middle management person, the chance that they're actually going to be able to have the authority to pull the trigger and buy whatever you're selling or make that decision is pretty low. So you're going to get a lower response rate. And even if you reach out to the founder or CEO of a big company, often what they'll do is they're going to forward your email to the relevant person within their company, and that automatically gives you authority, because if the CEO or founder of a company forwards your email to someone, then that person basically has to take you seriously. So just go straight to the top. You're going to get more replies and you're going to make more revenue for your company. And the next thing I'm going to do is go to the geography section. So under the geography filter, you're going to put in whatever country or location that you want to get leads from. So in this example, I'm going to use United States, but of course you can change it based on where your leads are based. And then another filter that I usually like to do is company headcount. Usually I'm only going to reach out to people where they have at least 11 employees in their company or more. So I'm going to select 11 to 50, and then you can also select the other amounts. And the reason why I do that is that if you reach out to self-employed people or very small companies, then they're less likely to have valid professional email addresses, and the email find rate is going to be significantly lower. And you're basically just going to waste a bunch of verification credits and resources trying to find emails for people who probably don't even have valid professional emails, and it's just not really a good use of time or money. So I usually don't go for those tiny companies or self-employed people. If there's a very small TAM, then there are exceptions where I will search for them, but most of the time I'm just going for companies that have at least 11 employees or more so that I can find the most valid emails possible. And then another thing which you might want to do is the industry filter. So for example, let's say you're reaching out to venture capital and private equity. You can select that, and that's going to then further refine the list. As you can see right now, I have 4.5 thousand people that match all the criteria that I've selected. And another thing that you should be aware of, which really makes a big difference, is if you're trying to reach out to people that have a specific skill set or a specific thing about them which is really relevant, then you can add that keyword to the keyword search bar at the top. So an example would be, let's say I'm making a list of software engineers that I want to reach out to hire. If my company uses something like Golang, which is a programming language, then I could type in here something like Golang, and then when I click enter, it's going to only show leads that have Golang mentioned on their LinkedIn profiles. And that means that I'm only going to reach out to people that specifically have the skill or detail that I'm looking for, which is going to further increase my reply rate and just make my campaign more successful, because the more you can narrow it down, the better your deliverability is going to be. Because if you just reach out to everyone and you have a super low reply rate, then ESPs like Gmail and Outlook can then potentially blacklist your email accounts. And then additionally, if you're reaching out to people that are completely irrelevant and just don't care about what you're saying, then they're more likely to mark your emails as spam. So you have to be careful when you're building your lead list to make sure that you're really refining it and reaching out to people that actually need what you're selling. So these have to be people that are relevant and that you can help. You don't want to just reach out to the whole world. And once you have everything ready to go, you can then click Export with Email Chaser. This button will appear when you have our extension installed. You click this button and it's going to take you back to this page inside Email Chaser's dashboard. And you can name your extraction whatever you want. So you can name it something which is relevant to your search. And we have a couple different options here as well. But when you're ready to go, you click the Extract button, and that's going to start the extraction. And as you can see, it does take some time to complete this. But the reason why it takes time is that we don't want to extract everyone immediately, because that could put your LinkedIn account at risk. So we do it over a long period of time so that it's very safe. And you can leave this page, just make sure that you don't log out of your LinkedIn account when the extraction is occurring. And you can see that right now it's in progress here, so it's just started, but as it starts finding the emails, it's going to show you the results here, and then whenever it's ready, you can click the download button, download the leads as a CSV file, and then upload them to a campaign. And I'm going to see if I can find an example here of a previous extraction, just to kind of show you what this might look like. So if I download this here, so as you can see here, this is an example of a CSV file which I downloaded from a different extraction, and every single row is a lead that was extracted. And as you can see, each lead has first name, last name, email, the verification status, like valid or catch-all validated, job title, company name, company description, company website, industry, LinkedIn profile URL, and LinkedIn profile picture, as well as their city and country. So this is all really important information which you might want to use inside your campaign. And then when you're ready, all you have to do is go back into your Email Chaser account and go to the Campaigns tab, click Create Campaign, and what you can do then is upload that CSV file to a campaign to start sending those emails. So you just go here, you click the CSV file option, click Upload CSV file, select the correct CSV file. You can preview it just to make sure it's the right one, and that's pretty much it. So that is how you can find leads for your cold email campaigns and then upload them to a campaign to start sending those emails.